Okay, so we're going to be continuing with Unit 7, Lesson 1, and I just want to get you guys used to reading a trig table. We'll call it that. So we're going to be starting by looking at a quarter circle here and looking at points on it and filling out some of this table. And because I'm trying to get you guys ready for when we have a table like this, what all these numbers mean, and it's really not that deep, okay? So that's kind of our aim and our goal for this. So ideally, if we were all together in class, that would be better for something like this. But what we would do is, let me just look at this whole thing, is we would look at this table, okay? And I would probably give like each pair a point to identify on this. So what we're going to do together is we're just going to look at a couple of the points and we're going to figure out the sine and the cosine. So, man, I'm having a hard time making this fit that I want it to fit. So let's do that. All right, still recording, good. So this is, like I said, it's a quarter circle. It starts all the way down here at 0 degrees. 0 degrees would be the point. So it says that the radius is 10 and it's on a 0.2 millimeter grid. So that means each of these marks, if you could see them, they're 0.2. So, and we're just going to kind of estimate the points, I guess. So our first point here is at P0. So I'm just going to what is that point? So I'm just going to identify it. So we would go over 10 and then 0. Okay, so that would be our first point, 10, 0. So here, our x would be 10 and our y would be 0. Okay, so x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 0. So in our table, if we can get all this to show up the same screen, oh, we can, awesome, bomb. Okay, so we would go to, our x would be 10, so we'd fill in a 10 right here, and our y would be 0. Okay, and then we're going to try to find the cosine and the sine. So the cosine, did they say that the radius was 10? Yeah, so the cosine would be the x divided by 10. So 10 divided by 10. So we want to think, what is 10 divided by 10? And that would be 1. Okay, so our cosine here would be 1. And then our sine would be 0 divided by the radius. So 0 over 10, which would be 0. And then our tangent would be 1 over 0. Okay? 1 over 0, which is undefined. Okay, you can't do that. So like I said, ideally in like a wonderful universe, we would do this as a whole class, but we don't have that right now. So I'm trying to get out of where I am right now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is maybe I'll just go through these ones that are done and just show where those numbers come from, and then we'll pick one more to do. So x is 9.4 at 20 degrees. Okay, so they're saying 20 degrees is, if this goes increments of, let's read this, it says, AOP1 is 10, so P2, so that would be this point right here, this P2 point. And they're saying that P2 point is at 20 degrees, I'm trying to make sure it's on the screen. And the x would be 9.4, so it goes 9.4 this way, and then 3.4 up. So I'm wondering if I could just, if this is a better way to do it. Yeah, baby. All right, there we go, okay? So this point here would be, that means that the point here that goes to P2 is 9.4, comma, 3.4, okay? So we want to just fill in our x and our y. Now we know that our radius is 10, so we're always dividing by 10. So we know that we take any number and we divide it by 10, something special happens. So 9.4, divide that by 10, and we get 0.94. Okay, so we get a decimal, 0.94. So the decimal just moves one spot. Sine 0.34, okay, and then you would divide these two to get our tangent. So we would do, we're not going to do the whole thing together, so 0.94 divided by 0.34, and we get our tangent. So our tangent we get is 2 point, really? That's what we get? That's wrong. What's the mistake? It's a mistake, it's a mistake. We do y over x, tangent is y over x. Let's make sure we do y divided by x, let's not forget that. So y divided by x, that's I knew that was wrong, because it should kind of be increasing. So let's delete that. So 0.34 divided by 0.94. Okay, 0.36, yeah. That's wrong. So 0.36, okay? Was it 367? No, 361, perfect, okay? So we would do that for all of the points, okay? Just identify what the point is. So this is 7.7 and 6.4. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that, but that's where this comes from. So then when we pop over to this table, that's where these numbers come from. So what this means is, let's just take a look at just like one of these. So if you have a 50-degree angle, right? So you have an angle, let's say 50 degrees, okay? That tells you that the sine of that angle is 0.76, the cosine of the angle is 0.64, and the tangent angle is 1.2 or 1.1918, okay? And that's going to be important later on, okay? And that's how you would read this. So we have some, some questions, right? So this first one, how does sine of the angle change from 40 to 75? So let's just look. So we notice that our sine, if we look at their numbers, right, how is sine changing? Our sine is going from, do the same thing I just did there. Let's do this. Make it a little smaller. So our sine, if we look at this, our sine is, because we're going to have to use this table in a little bit. So our sine is increasing, right? We go from 0.7 and it increases to 1. So we have our sine is increasing. Let's write that down. Sine is increasing from, let's say, so from 45 to 75 degrees. What's happening? Okay, what's happening? Sine is increasing. Okay, and what's happening to our cosine? Our cosine starts the same, but then look at it. It goes down, 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 right? Our cosine is decreasing. Okay, and then this is going to be important when we talk about the graphs of these functions. So tangent, and our tangent, look, our tangent is increasing. Tangent is increasing. Okay, so that's kind of the pattern of this table right here. We're going to talk about actually using this table in a little bit in the next little lesson.